Kelly has made an explosive claim that prison officials are trying to kill him, sparking outrage and disbelief. But what's really going on behind bars? The controversial singer, who has faced significant legal battles in recent years, now alleges that the very system meant to contain him is actively plotting his demise. These shocking accusations have left fans, legal experts, and the public questioning the validity of his claims and what's really happening in the prison system. R. Kelly, once a dominant force in the music industry, now finds himself serving time in prison following multiple convictions for sexual abuse, trafficking minors, and racketeering. These legal battles have garnered widespread media attention and sparked heated debates over celebrity justice. As he sits behind bars, R. Kelly has repeatedly complained about his conditions, claiming that the prison system has treated him unfairly. However, his most recent claim that prison officials are trying to kill him has taken the controversy to new levels. What started as concerns over his treatment in prison has now become a full-fledged battle involving accusations of a conspiracy against him. In recent court filings and interviews, R. Kelly has dropped a bombshell, alleging that certain prison officials are actively conspiring to end his life. But what could possibly motivate such drastic measures? Is it a case of personal vendettas? Or does this claim reveal something deeper about the flaws within the American prison system? With new evidence emerging, it's clear that R. Kelly's claims are far from being mere complaints. This article will dive deep into the allegations surrounding R. Kelly's time behind bars, unpacking the potential conspiracy behind his claims and the broader implications of justice in America. This is more than just an investigation into one man's legal woes. It's about exposing the deeper issues of justice, accountability, and prison reform that R. Kelly's case brings to light. In this article, we'll explore the details of R. Kelly's shocking accusations, the implications for the prison system, and what this drama means for the future of justice in America. Stay tuned as we break down the complexities of R. Kelly's allegations and what they might reveal about a system that affects us all. R. Kelly's legal troubles began many years ago, but it wasn't until recently that the full weight of his criminal activities was exposed in the courts. Over the years, Kelly was charged with multiple counts of sexual abuse, trafficking minors, and racketeering. The most serious charges came from his pattern of sexual exploitation, particularly involving young girls, some as young as 14. His notorious behavior was hidden for years, with many victims silenced by his fame, influence, and wealth. The charges against him were extensive, covering a range of criminal activities. In addition to sexual abuse, he faced accusations of running an organized scheme to recruit young women and girls for sex, which was labeled as sex trafficking. Kelly was accused of using his power and celebrity status to manipulate, control, and exploit these women, keeping them under his influence and often abusing them in various ways. The accusations stretched across multiple states, with several women stepping forward to accuse him of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse over the years. These charges ultimately led to a series of high-profile trials. In September 2021, R. Kelly was convicted on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking by a federal jury in Brooklyn, New York. The conviction came after years of investigation and testimony from dozens of victims, some of whom had been part of Kelly's inner circle during the years of abuse. The case was a watershed moment, shedding light on the darker aspects of the entertainment industry and the vulnerability of young women caught in its grasp. The legal battle for R. Kelly has been long and contentious. His first major legal issue occurred in 2008 when he was acquitted on child pornography charges. However, the accusations against him did not end there. The real turning point came in 2019 when R. Kelly was arrested again, facing charges that would eventually lead to his conviction. The legal proceedings were marked by a series of bombshell testimonies from victims, many of whom had previously remained silent or feared speaking out due to Kelly's fame. The trial involved more than just the victims who stepped forward. It also highlighted the broader systemic issues in place that allowed Kelly to operate with impunity for so long. Many of the women involved in the case gave heart-wrenching accounts of how they were manipulated and controlled by the singer, some even detailing how Kelly forced them into sexual servitude and monitored their every move. The prosecutor's argument was simple. R. Kelly had built a web of lies, manipulation, and abuse, using his power in the music industry to exploit these women for his own gratification. The trial culminated in a conviction that shocked many, given Kelly's long-standing status as a pop and R&B icon. His fame had shielded him for years, but the victims' testimonies finally broke through the veil of celebrity protection. His sentencing is still unfolding, with various lawsuits still pending. But it's clear that R. Kelly's legacy has been forever tarnished by these revelations. From the moment R. Kelly was first accused of misconduct, the public response was divided. For years, Kelly's music continued to be popular, and his star power allowed him to maintain a relatively comfortable public image. However, after the release of the surviving R. Kelly documentary in 2019, the tide began to shift. The documentary featured interviews with survivors, detailing the full extent of the abuse they suffered, and ignited the #MuteRKelly movement, which called for boycotting his music and silencing his influence within the industry. The media coverage of the case became increasingly intense as more women came forward with their stories. Public sentiment rapidly turned against him, with celebrities, fans, and influencers publicly distancing themselves from his legacy. Kelly's radio play and streaming numbers dropped significantly, and many businesses that had once endorsed him cut ties. The #MuteRKelly movement became a focal point for discussions about how the entertainment industry had enabled such abuse for years, with critics pointing to a pattern of institutional silence surrounding sexual abuse in music and film. This public and media scrutiny was a key factor in Kelly's downfall. It's the combination of media exposure, the brave victims coming forward, and the growing public demand for justice forced the legal system to take action. While many had been complicit in turning a blind eye for years, the tide of public opinion eventually swayed enough to bring R. Kelly to trial. This public outcry played an essential role in pushing for legal accountability, contributing to the significant charges and eventual conviction he faced. The scrutiny of his actions, both in the media and among the public, helped to amplify the voices of victims and ultimately gave them the courage to speak out. R. Kelly's case has become emblematic of the larger #MeToo movement and the fight for justice for women who have been silenced by powerful men in the entertainment industry, while he faces significant legal challenges ahead. The public's response to his crimes will undoubtedly shape the future of both his legal battles and his legacy. In a shocking and unexpected twist, R. Kelly has publicly claimed that prison officials are actively trying to kill him, alleging a conspiracy within the correctional system designed to end his life prematurely. These explosive accusations have captured significant attention, raising questions about the treatment of high-profile inmates and the transparency of the prison system. Kelly has been very vocal about the way he perceives the prison system's treatment of him. In his statements, he claims that prison officials are deliberately denying him proper medical care, placing him in dangerous situations, and using psychological tactics to cause harm. Kelly described the atmosphere in the prison as hostile, with reports indicating that he feels targeted because of his high-profile nature and the controversial nature of his case. He stated that there have been multiple instances of his safety being put at risk, and he believes that this is no accident. He has also suggested that the constant stress and the conditions under which he is being held are part of a deliberate effort to break him down, both physically and mentally. Kelly's specific allegations include being placed in solitary confinement without just cause, being denied access to adequate medical treatment, and even claims of threats from fellow inmates or guards. As of now, R. Kelly has not provided clear, undeniable evidence to support his conspiracy claims. His lawyers have cited certain medical issues as an example of mistreatment, including his lack of access to certain medical treatments while in custody. However, no concrete, irrefutable proof has been made public that substantiates his allegations of a deliberate attempt on his life by prison officials. Some of Kelly's supporters have argued that his treatment is a form of retaliation for his high-profile case and his public outbursts. Others, including his legal team, have pointed to his health issues, suggesting that prison officials have failed to address them properly. One notable instance occurred when Kelly reportedly complained about his deteriorating health, but was allegedly not given adequate attention or resources to address his condition. His lawyers have even filed motions claiming that the denial of proper treatment constitutes cruel and unusual punishment, which is prohibited under U.S. law. However, prison officials have denied these claims, maintaining that Kelly is receiving proper care and that his allegations are unfounded. While there may be incidents that suggest poor treatment, the lack of concrete proof makes it difficult to determine the extent of any conspiracy or deliberate malfeasance on the part of prison staff. R. Kelly has been making complaints about his treatment since he was first incarcerated in 2019. His initial complaints were about his conditions at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, MCC, in Chicago, where he claimed that he was being held in solitary confinement for extended periods of time without justification. He argued that the conditions were causing him significant psychological distress, and his legal team filed multiple motions to have him moved to a less restrictive environment. The complaints about mistreatment intensified after his transfer to a federal facility in Brooklyn, New York in 2021, where he allegedly continued to face challenging conditions, including reports of being placed in isolation. As Kelly's trial progressed, so did his grievances, with his legal team filing motions to address the conditions of his confinement. Despite being denied various requests, including one to attend certain medical treatments outside the facility, his complaints about his treatment continued to escalate. His accusations grew more pointed, with suggestions that the prison system was intentionally trying to break him down both physically and mentally. These ongoing allegations paint a picture of a man who believes his incarceration is not only about serving time but is also a deliberate attempt to push him to the brink. R. Kelly has a long history of making complaints about his treatment, both in the public sphere and during his time in prison. During his trial and before his sentencing, Kelly and his defense team frequently claimed that he was being unfairly treated, both by the media and the legal system. However, his treatment in prison appears to be where most of his complaints are concentrated, particularly in the wake of his conviction. One of the most prominent aspects of Kelly's legal battles is his continuous assertion that he has been unjustly persecuted. His legal team has frequently alleged that the court system, the media, even the public have conspired against him, painting him as guilty before a trial had even been conducted. This has led to a series of allegations, from claims of mistreatment by the media to accusations that the justice system was rigged against him. Given Kelly's history of challenging authority and claiming persecution, it's important to consider whether his latest allegations about prison officials are a continuation of this pattern or if there's validity to his claims. Some critics argue that Kelly's history of defensive behavior and tendency to make grandiose statements about his mistreatment could lead one to view his conspiracy claims with skepticism. On the other hand, others suggest that given the high-profile nature of his case and the systemic issues within the prison system, there may be some merit to his claims of mistreatment. Ultimately, whether R. Kelly's claims are accurate remains a matter of debate, and the lack of conclusive evidence raises doubts about the truth of his allegations. Still, the claims continue to fuel a growing discussion about the treatment of high-profile prisoners and the transparency of the U.S. prison system. R. Kelly's allegations of a conspiracy to have him killed by prison officials have taken center stage in his ongoing legal saga. The singer claims that his mistreatment in prison, including denial of medical care and extended isolation, is part of a deliberate effort to break him physically and mentally. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, R. Kelly's assertions have fueled debate about the treatment of high-profile inmates in the U.S. prison system. While his legal team has filed motions highlighting these concerns, prison officials have denied any wrongdoing, asserting that Kelly is receiving appropriate care. Public and media reactions have been mixed, with some sympathizing with Kelly's claims, while others view his history of self-proclaimed persecution as a possible influence on his current complaints. As for what happens next, R. Kelly's legal team is likely to continue pushing for improved conditions in light of his allegations. Whether these claims will result in a change in his imprisonment remains uncertain, as his accusations are being vigorously contested. It is possible that R. Kelly may face further isolation or increased scrutiny, which could heighten tensions between him and prison authorities. Given his continued high-profile status, this legal battle will likely continue to attract attention, both from fans and critics alike. R. Kelly's story underscores a larger, ongoing conversation about the treatment of high-profile individuals within the justice system. His case invites questions about fairness, transparency, and the way the media and the public engage with celebrity justice. Whether R. Kelly's claims of a conspiracy are founded or not, they highlight the deeper complexities of the U.S. prison system and its handling of celebrity inmates. The truth behind these accusations may never fully come to light, but they serve as a reminder of how power, fame, and the criminal justice system intersect in ways that continue to impact those involved. The fallout from R. Kelly's case will likely shape the public's understanding of justice, prison reform, and accountability for years to come.